Hi y'all. So I wanted to put a video out there and share a little bit about what's been on my heart lately. Um, a lot of you know Scott, my husband, and I lost our 15-year-old son Jason to suicide in October, so just a little over 2 months ago. So I wanted to post a video to share our story and just inform other parents and just help get the word out there that suicide's an issue. Sadly, suicide is something that was never on mine and Scott's radar. It's not something you want to think about, when it comes to your children. Suicide is a hard subject to talk about. It's hard for me to even say still. But the reality of it is it's an issue. It's a big issue right now with our kids. I've done quite a bit of reading and research since Jason has passed about suicide, honestly, kind of in a quest for answers as to why maybe he made that decision. It's something I'll never know in this, lifetime here on earth. But through the research and the reading that I've done, I've come to find out that suicide is the second leading cause of death in kids between the ages of 10 to 24. So suicide takes more of our children's lives than heart disease, cancer, the flu, AIDS, strokes, pneumonia, lung disease, all of that combined. Suicide's, it's an issue. It's a serious issue that we need to think about and we need to talk about as parents. Physically as parents, we do everything and anything in our power to take care of our kids. If there's something wrong with them physically, if they have a stomach ache, if they're having some sort of physical ailment, whatever that may be, we take them to the doctor. We, get them treated, get them, we do whatever we can to make things right and make things better. This same sort of attention needs to be put on their mental health. And I know it's something that Scott and it wasn't by any means a lack of concern. It was just, quite honestly, a lack of knowledge on our parts that we didn't put an emphasis on Jason's mental health. Jason wasn't diagnosed with anything. That's something we'll never know if he had depression or anything like that. We can only assume. But my whole point to that is just we need to pay attention to our kids and we need to pay attention to their mental state and what is going on with them. We need to have the hard conversations. We need to bring up suicide. I know I didn't talk to Jason about suicide much. I can remember one time specifically having a conversation with him about suicide after I'd heard about an 11-year-old boy who died from suicide. So I brought that up with Jason in the car one morning on the way to school and just, tried to tell him nothing is ever worth, doing that. Nothing is ever worth taking your life over. I wasn't informed. I didn't know much about suicide at the time. Now, unfortunately, I do. I've been thrown into this world of suicide. And anyways, I never talked to Jason about suicide as much as I should have. I didn't want to plant a seed. I didn't want to put any ideas in his head. And that's not what you're doing by having those tough conversations. You're checking on your kids. You're learning about your kids. You're just educating them. You're educating yourself. You're having the hard conversations is necessary. So yeah, you're not planning an idea by talking to them about suicide. You're not doing anything like that. You're checking on them. And right now, during this time of COVID and with all the quarantine and everything that's going on, we don't know what that's doing to our kids. We don't know how that's affecting them mentally. Jason, he was doing school virtually. That's something he wanted. That's something he wanted to do before COVID ever hit. At the time when he wanted to do that, I wasn't on board with it. I was worried about him, losing social connections with people by not being in school. So I didn't let him do it at the time. But then when coronavirus hit and my job went remote, I decided to go ahead at that time to let Jason do school virtually. A lot of other kids were doing it. And I don't know if that played a part. I never will know. I did check on him every once in a while to make sure, hey, is that something you still want to do, or would you rather physically go to school? And, it's something he wanted to do. Just my whole point with that, we've never been through quarantine. We've never been through a pandemic. We've never been through coronavirus. We don't know what this is doing to them. We don't know how this is affecting them. And I say all that to say just it's more important than ever to keep up with our kids, to check on them mentally, to see how they're doing. I read a statistic on something called the Jason Foundation. It's another Jason who died from suicide years ago. His dad started up a foundation that educates people, parents, educators on suicide awareness and prevention. But anyways, they had mentioned, I think this stat was from 2012, but it said each day in the US, there are about 3,700 suicide attempts by high school aged kids. So that's every day, 3,700 kids were trying to take their lives. You can only imagine that's more now with coronavirus and the quarantine. And so yeah, that's just, I just wanted to put this out there. It's, again, something Scott and I never thought about, something that wasn't on our radar, something we didn't have conversations about with Jason. But suicide is real. Suicide is, it's an issue. It's something we need to be talking about. The dog went in. So it's something we need to be talking about. It's something we need to be educated on as parents, and just don't be afraid to have those hard conversations. Please talk to your kids. Please encourage them to talk to you. And if they can't talk to you for whatever reason, encourage them to talk to somebody, whether it's, a teacher, a friend, a counselor, somebody at church. Just encourage them to talk to somebody. I don't know everything. I don't know a lot. I just know what I've read since being thrown into this world of suicide. So if somebody's in a crisis situation, I don't have the answers. I know, call 911. There's a suicide prevention hotline. But as far as signs to look for and what to do, if you do think you're seeing signs, there's an awesome website, again, called the Jason Foundation. He has a lot of information on there. And the purpose of that website is to educate people, to educate parents, to educate teachers on suicide awareness and prevention, and just what's happening with our youth. And I think that's a great place to start, just to be informed, to get answers. These are all things I wish I would have known 3 months ago, and I didn't. So that's why I'm doing this. I just want other people to be informed. I want other people to know it's an issue. So just please check on your kids, check on the young people, love them, love them, love them. They are such an amazing blessing. I would give anything to, to be able to see Jason and to hug him and tell him I love him, and to hear him tell me he loves me, and to get him the help that he obviously needed. So that's what I'm doing. Just talk to your kids. If you think they need help, don't be scared to get them help. Just take care of them, and it's what we do as parents. But just don't forget their mental health. It is so, so, so important. It is vital that you look after their mental health. So thank you for listening. And just, again, please feel free to share this if you think anybody else needs to see it. Thank you.